What's up, LightSaber Radio family? How's everybody doing today? We got some Ahsoka to talk about. And it's this episode. Well, before we get to all that, let's go ahead on, drop the intro, and then we'll get into depth on it. We'll get into depth on it.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now in LightSaber Radio. If you only knew the power of darkness. You are now tuned in to LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
What's up, everybody? We got Star Wars team leader Chris, Darth Akari, Nielsen, and Darth RM. Okay, everybody, Darth RM, he actually was on. On the end of the season of Sway. He left some comments on the Sway podcast, and I didn't know that it was him. So what's up, Harum? Darth Harum, that's dope that you listen to both shows. But what's up, guys? What's up, everybody? How everybody doing today? Just let everybody know right off the bat, I'm sick. I feel like crap. So we're not gonna be this. Fuck you. This episode ain't gonna be the fucking longest episode. We're gonna talk about some shit that we're gonna get the hell out of here because I need to go to sleep.
That episode made him sick. Literally made him sick. Kyle is sick from that Ahsoka episode.
No, it didn't make me sick. I liked the episode. There were some things that I didn't like though, and we're gonna get into that right now. The things that I didn't like the way they made Anakin look at the end. He just looked at fucking weird. I don't know if it was the de-aging or if it was the fuck thing. And plus, if he's a Force ghost, like why the fuck he ain't blue? Everybody else is blue. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck he ain't blue? Is it because he's in a world between worlds, so he doesn't have to be blue or something? Like, that shit didn't make no sense.
Yeah, dude.
And
this one, I was keeping notes during the entire thing, and I had so many different ideas.
And I just think the lightsaber dueling could have been better. Like, that kind of...
No. But the thing is, the first lightsaber duel actually wasn't bad. Like, it was kind of cool. Like, not the duel, sorry, but the lightsabers, like, when they were fighting the people with blasters, that actually wasn't bad. That was kind of cool. I like seeing...
Well, all of them was good. They just, like, I don't know, when Ahsoka's fighting, and we got to remember, too, Rey is old at this point, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and Rosario Dawson isn't the best when it comes to lightsaber duels. In the first episode, it looked cool because of the things that she did. So you really didn't notice too much like the badness of the thing. Even when she fought Merrick,
wow.
It wasn't
so
that
now
bad.
You finally see what I'm talking about, how the duels suck?
But this time, I don't know, it just, something like her kicking off the rock and shit. It was just like, and then...
And it's like,
why the fuck she didn't use the other lightsaber? Like, that shit bothered me. It's like, your fucking expertise is in dual blades.
Nelson's right. What they'll do is they'll hit sabers once, then switch sides and stare at each other. Hit sabers, switch sides and stare at each other. Like, fucking fight.
Well,
like,
that didn't bother me because that's...
staring and not doing anything.
That part didn't bother me because in sword fighting, if you watch like samurai things in the old samurai movies, which Dave and George got a lot of their influence off when it came to lightsaber, that's what they do. Tink, tink, and then stand and they're sizing each other up. That didn't bother me. It was like the leg kick off the thing. She only used one lightsaber fighting Merrick and fucking Skoll, or however you say his name. You know, she only used one lightsaber. We know that you're best with two lightsabers. You know, and then just how easily he beat her. It was like, dude, come on, man. This, like, Ahsoka's dope as fuck. When it comes to lightsaber, and I don't expect Rosario Dawson to ever do as good as the animated series. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do that. It's just, she's a good actor, but she's not an action actor. That's not who she really is. So I don't expect it to be spectacular, but like, even like, you know, it just, I don't know, it just, like her, the kickoff of the Rock fucking thing. It's like, dude, how many fucking movies do we got to see? Why is everybody doing that in all the fucking movies? You got to kick off something, give you more, and then it's not even like you really did anything. You fucking kicked off, and you know what I'm saying. Then you fucking hit him, and then you did a fucking kick. Like she was doing more damage with her martial arts than she was with the lightsaber, and it just felt, I don't know, it just felt fake to me. It didn't feel like realistic. Like the first couple lightsaber battles she was in, even the first part of the show when they were fighting the droids with the thing, that shit looked realistic. You know, but the one where she's fighting him, it just, and it might not be her. You know what I'm saying? It might have been, Ray couldn't, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's pretty old at this time. I mean, he's not super old by no means.
He was killing it. Because if you watch some of them, like he's fucking swinging that lightsaber hard, and it was kind of cool to see someone swing it hard, like long, powerful ones. Because I feel like we haven't seen that for a while in Star Wars, like long, powerful, hard swings. It's all like, and then like sitting there. He was like hard and like going after it.
And then I had a feeling that
seemed like phone 4 to me.
Merrick was, you know what I'm saying, like a fucking ghost.
A fucking ghost? That was so random. It was stupid.
But when it happened, I just was kind of disappointed. I wanted it to be like a fucking Jedi or a fucking, you know,
even be your own character. Why? Are you a fucking Death Eater? What are we doing, Harry Potter? Where you just like teleport when you die, like to a smoke?
Nah, so if you in Rebel, I mean in the Clone Wars, they had like them Force ghosts or the magic Force ghosts, whatever, that the Dathomirians could fucking project, or the Night Witches could project. So it was kind of, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of, I had a feeling that that's what it was, and that's why, you know, when Dave was talking in the interview, like everybody's going to be disappointed because your guys' theories like are just outrageous, you know. But I was like, dude,
any of those theories would have been better than that.
It just, I don't know. I was just expecting more, and it kind of disappointed me. I wanted him to be something more. I had a feeling that that's what it was at the beginning, but I just didn't want to say that because I'm like, nah, because he's doing too much. I was hoping it was like going to be like some Jedi, and they were going to let Sam Witwer be the fucking person, and she like rips off the mask and see who it is, or, you know, somebody, just something. It was just like he just fucking disappeared, like, and then whoosh. I was like, come on. Could have done better than that. I mean, it just could have been something better than that. But overall, I like the, you know. Go ahead.
No, I still think the dialogue was made by ChatGPT. The dialogue, like, come on. They literally go through, don't worry about me. Should I be? What? Should I be worried? Should I be worried about what? Should I be worried about you? Nope. What the fuck?
They're explaining something like,
that was stupid. Don't worry about me. Should I be? What? Should I be worried about you? What do you mean? Should I be worried about you? Nope.
And she should have been worried about it because you see what fucking.
So red.
You see, like, she fucking traded on there.
What was that? What was that? She literally said, "Don't worry about me," and then she had to ask, "Should I be worried about you?" 3 times, and then she just says, "Nope."
Because she's fucking.
That was fucking weird.
No, that shit was like that shit. The dialogue did not feel clunky or anything. It just felt like normal dialogue. You expect this fucking high-end fucking dialogue on a fucking show that don't need high-end dialogue.
No, I'm expecting decent dialogue. It just seems
that shit was because she's fucking double and triple checking, like, dude. And then she was right to not trust her because look at what she did at the fucking end. She fucking handed over the fucking thing.
I'm actually kind of glad she did.
Traded. Well, you knew she was going to. You knew some way.
She sucks.
You knew for a fact some way they was going to get, because I got to go get Thrawn and Ezra because we know that they're in the show. So we knew that they was going to fucking win in the outcome. But, you know what I'm saying, like the way that it happened, I thought they were just going to get beat. You know what I'm saying? Ahsoka was going to get beat. I figured it, because you got to figure, in any great story, the fucking good guy always loses at the beginning. You got to lose because then they got to have a comeback. If they don't lose and have every Rocky movie, every fucking Terminator, you know what I'm saying? The fucking good guys lose at that's just good storytelling. The good guy, you have to compel somebody to want to fucking come back and see the good guy fucking make it at the end. And we might not even see it in this episode. It might be in season 2, or in this series. It might, or in this season, we might not see it until season 2. But you know what I'm saying? The you got to have that in there. So like we all knew that they were going to get beat. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't think that fucking Sabine was going to fucking give him the fucking, like, why'd you shoot that fucker? You raggedy motherfucker, you over here. You wouldn't even get this motherfucker no pussy. Now he done friend zoned your ass. You know what I'm saying? And now you want to go save him, you raggedy bitch.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I'm kind of glad she did because, like, let's be honest.
I mean, it made it exciting. It definitely projected the story well. It definitely made you want to be like, oh fuck, come on, Sabine, don't do. Oh man, Sabine. And I know that he used fucking forced persuasion to fucking help persuade her, and he fucking manipulated her with talking about her family, and we know her fucking family was wiped out on Mandalore, and that's all the family that she has. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but
bro,
at the same time, it's like fuck you, you raggedy bitch. Fuck Ezra.
I got a whole list of things that I was like, what the fuck? Because like at first, like the fucking what's her name? The Sith bitch, the little girl. Shin. Shin. Yeah, Shin. She like used the smoke bomb to get away. Why didn't she just like force choke her? Like she did way earlier. Or way later. She force chokes her way later in the episode. Why didn't she just force choke her earlier? This whole time you've been like, lightsaber, just force choke the bitch. She doesn't have a force shield or nothing. She can't.
Well, that's just like fucking. Yeah, because she doesn't have a force shield around her like other Jedi and Sith because she doesn't know how to use the force yet.
When they first go to the face-off, fucking Sabine starts chasing her with her 2 pistols. I'm like, why not stay here? You can shoot her from far away. You don't got to run after her with pistols.
Because you can't shoot a Jedi or a Sith. They just block that shit. You seen that.
Which reminds me, she didn't block any bullets back at her. These must be the worst lightsaber fighters ever because when they're blocking them, they're just blocking them straight back to the ground.
Well, it's pointless to block
back at the bitch.
It's pointless to fucking send a blaster bolt back at a fucking Mandalorian. It's not going to do nothing to the arm.
They got gaps in the armor. She didn't even
but
have
you know
her
how hard
helmet
it is to. When they do that shit, they ain't hitting fucking practical. They just hit it back in the direction. You can't fucking aim the damn blaster bolt back. You know what I'm saying? You just hit it in the general direction, and most of the time it hits the person.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Shin knew there was no shield because Shin pushed her ass up against a tree. Remember? Shin forced her. She went flying.
But you also got to understand, like a force choke and a force shove is two different things.
They are different.
You know what I'm saying? Because look at how fucking what's her face Shin got some force shield around her because of course she's in battle. You know what I'm saying? So she has a force shield, and Ahsoka just picked her up and threw her like she wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Smashed her into the fucking wall. So it just depends, how strong the force user, because they can break through the shield.
Yeah, now, and it depends how much they're focusing. Sometimes they get their mind off. Anyway,
Dark
that
Jedi,
was one thing.
Sith,
It was kind of like
thing.
plot armor. It wasn't super consistent. I don't know. Another thing was like the first fight was kind of cool. How like Ahsoka literally like picked up a guy and put him in front of the other guys to block the blaster bolts. That was cool. That was something we saw in the video games. It's cool to kind of see in the TV show. The line where it was like the droid goes, "I always thought you guys were better together," and then like Ahsoka looks over at her and like, "We better get moving," and she looks at her with like the dirtiest eyes. I swear, bro. And then Sabine goes, "Together." That was a little bit cheesy, but it was also like a little bit flirty too. You guys were always better together.
I thought it was funny. Like what?
It was like we
they ain't been together really for what we understand.
I just thought that was
been
funny.
Together.
It was kind of weird. Like the lieutenant started yelling at the general. You know what I mean? Like I was like that. Like they were yelling at Hera, like General Hera. I'm like, bro, that's a general. I don't know why you're yelling at her. Like she could fire your ass. That was a little bit weird. I'm glad we finally got to see the ghost.
It's like you are like nitpicking shit. Like,
bro, I'm going back and forth.
I didn't even fucking pay attention to that shit.
Yeah, none of y'all pay attention. That's the problem. No, I'm just playing.
I didn't pay attention to that shit because it was irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares if she fucking
Everything is
Fucking
bullshit, bro.
shit, people yelled at Han and fucking everybody and fucking
If it's in the
Lando
show,
in the
it's relevant.
originals and people that was underneath the fucking thing and all that shit's just fucking normal fucking people interaction.
If it's in
Fuck,
the
I
show,
yell
it's
at my
relevant.
boss all the damn time.
No, I just thought it was weird. Like, damn, this guy's got some balls yelling at the general. It's something I wanted to comment on. It wasn't necessarily bad or good. I just thought it was weird. Like, he's got some balls yelling at the general like that. You know what I mean? His boss. I'm glad we finally got to see the ghost. It was kind of funny when she does like the witchcraft with the map, and he sits there and he's like, Balin sits there and he's like, witchcraft. No shit, Sherlock. We're all watching the same thing. She just used witchcraft to open the map. Obviously, it's witchcraft. That was a little weird. Again, I thought it was fucking weird how she's chasing after the shooter with their blasters, like running through the forest, leaving Ahsoka. Like, why? And then she goes like, she's like, I got this to Ahsoka. Like, I can take her by myself. I don't think you can take her by yourself. You tried to take her like 2 days ago, and you got your ass fucking smashed. You can't take her. You cannot.
You got to understand there's a difference now. Did
What's
you
the
pay
difference?
attention to the difference is she's in her Mandalorian armor. So she has a lot more protection.
No.
Plus she has
Just
all of her
remember,
gadgets.
The helmet got taken off.
Yeah, but
The
she
helmet
still
got
has a
knocked
lot
off.
more protection, even with the helmet
True,
taken off.
true.
And just like she had the fucking shooter thing on her fucking arm that knocked her fucking thing out. She's way better protected when she's wearing that, wearing her armor and got all of her
but
gadgets.
Think about it. Where she got stabbed. There's no armor.
Yeah, but
I stabbed her in the same
first
spot.
off, and then you got to remember her and Ahsoka, they've been practicing. You know, she's been practicing more. She hasn't done
it's
any
been
type
like
of
a week.
lightsaber. It doesn't matter. A week can make a big difference in martial arts or any type of martial arts.
When she
if you fucking
smacks her
practice
ass
for a
that
week.
hard, I think you're no. I think
She didn't
she's
even
fine.
smash her that hard in the first one.
She did.
She won, but it wasn't like Sabine wasn't putting up a good fight. And now she has
Really.
an armor and everything.
She got beat pretty quick.
It wasn't pretty quick. I mean, you got to figure a regular lightsaber duel is maybe a few minutes. And that shit took a few minutes and then she got stabbed. But now she has her armor. She has all of her gadgets. That's like, how many fucking Jedi have Boba Fett killed? Before Boba Fett turned into the cookie dough making motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You know, how many Jedi does he take out? Plenty. You know what I'm saying? Because he has the armor. The armor protects you. And you got all your gadgets. He didn't even have a fucking lightsaber. And Boba Fett would take Jedis out. So, you know what I'm saying? It just, she's in a way better position when she's in armor. Now the armor should have slowed her down something because it's heavier. She should have been slower.
Right.
Especially because she doesn't have the force or she doesn't know how to use the force yet in order to, you know what I'm saying?
The episode, to me, I thought the
augment
episode started
her velocity
really good,
and
but
shit.
then it went down again. The episode started great.
I thought that was one of the best lightsaber between her and Shin was a better lightsaber duel than Ahsoka and fucking Bailey.
Oh, I agree. But I just think it was like, because that was like, dude, there was a night and day difference between like when she first fought her and when she fought her now. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude, it's been like a week. Like, I don't know.
But
a week isn't going to make that kind of difference.
For a week of practicing when you haven't practiced in fucking forever.
I guess
you know what I'm
maybe
saying?
if it comes back, I don't know. It
Refreshing.
was still a pretty big fucking difference.
And then you got to understand, she's way more confident. She's in her armor. You know what I'm saying? She knows she has her other gadgets, so it's going to make you more. It's going to make you more confident. You know, she's in her environment now. Before, she wasn't really in her environment, and she doesn't know this person at all. She's never faced this person before. You know, even in a fight, if you get into a fight with somebody, the first time you fight them, you're unexpected. The second time you fight them is usually a little bit easier because you know what to expect. You've already fought them before. You know some of their tactics, you know. And then, so she just had a lot more things on her side this time. And you could tell, which I liked. That's something that I really did like about the episode is that you could tell that Sabine's confidence was way better than the second fight. Now, like I said before, the Ahsoka shit was like, dude, this dude beat Ahsoka like Dude, Ahsoka's dope. Balin is not as good of a fucking saber combat motherfucker as fucking Ahsoka. And it
apparently he is.
And I still don't like the fact that she didn't the whole episode, she didn't use her other lightsaber. She only used one.
I'm aware.
I'm like, fuck, man.
Can we, I'm sorry, can we put a limit on like how many fake deaths you're allowed in like a fucking span of 4 episodes? We've got 2 fake deaths in 4 episodes.
What do you mean fake deaths?
Like someone, we think they're going to die and they end up not dying.
Well, we don't know where Ahsoka's at yet. I mean, we know she's in a world between worlds, but we don't know if she's dead. She fell off that fucking
off a cliff. Yeah, I know. Like, but let's
we don't know if
honest.
she did. But see, I'm expecting this. I'm expecting that Anakin is one of those fucking you're dead, but it's not time for you to go. The Force is gonna put you back in your body type fucking shit, like some fucking
stupid.
Like some fucking you know what I'm saying?
Bad writing. Yeah.
Well, no, fucking the movies where they do that shit, where they fucking, it's not time for you to go yet. You need to go back. They do it in TV shows all the fucking time and shit. I just have a feeling that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's a fucking
Cliche.
dumb
It's
concept,
bad.
but you know the
Stupid.
Force can do what it wants.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not a fan of that whole thing. That's dumb. We haven't really seen that before in Star Wars.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's go over some let's go over some of the fucking comments right quick.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna do that. Effective Actual says like, I can sword fight Garrison. Congratulations. I'll give you a few days training, then spar, then give you 7 straight days training and spar, and I guarantee you'll do much better. Yeah, but I'm not gonna beat you with 7 days training.
Yeah, but she didn't beat her.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, she did. I'm sorry. Throwing a smoke bomb and running away. Yeah, you lost.
No, but that's because That's because Sabine shot the fucking lightsaber out of her hand.
I'm aware.
You know what I'm saying? So she was like, "Fuck it, let me get the fuck out of here." You know what I'm saying? Dark side, Jedi, Sith, whatever you want to call it, trait. Oh, I'm about to lose. Let me get the fuck out. Let me run like a bitch now. You know what I'm saying? It's typical fucking Sith shit.
Yeah. So she won the fight. Like. I'm sorry. I don't think 7 days.
Winning would be. She won the first fight because she just rammed the lightsaber through fucking Sabine's side. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She won the first one. This one wasn't like she didn't win. She didn't lose.
She made her run
neither.
away. She made her run away. That's I consider that a win when you made the person run away. Because the whole point of the battle was to stop them from getting to the map. She still got to the map. She failed.
Nielsen said here had to go down, had no damn reason to bring her kid along with. No, but if you go back and watch Rebels, they're always fucking bringing people they don't need to bring in fucking episodes. If you really watch Rebels, they always going. Everybody's fucking going. And you know what I'm saying? Maybe she just don't trust nobody to have her kid. But I do agree, she didn't have no reason to. And that's another thing. Chris says, I assume Shin assumed that she was Force sensitive, which is why she didn't use the Force on her from the start until she found out that she wasn't Force sensitive. Yeah, that makes sense. It does. And it would make her fight a little bit different.
Yeah, but we also talk about like how they're constantly trying to sense the other person. I feel like if this, like she literally says, "You have no power." I feel like that's
no power, but
that's a good
forced.
indicator. That's a good indicator that they don't have a shield, and you could probably force them around.
Yeah, but not at the beginning of the fight. She wouldn't know unless she was like fucking. Which now I don't know. The way the
no,
books
but that's
fucking,
what I mean. At that point, she's like, "You have no power." Then she does the wrist rocket thing. All right, she knows you. You just said that she has no power. So why don't we use the Force now?
Okay, well, even if she started Force choking her, then Sabine got all the shit in her armor. She could have just fucking shot her. She ain't got no lightsaber to block herself no more. So time to get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about that. She got all these weapons. She just goes, she could just be, pow, shoot her ass in the stomach with, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, why not smoke, choke? Done.
I mean,
I don't know. It's a
doesn't fit the scenario of the story.
Exactly.
The fucking scenario of the story got to lead up to the fucking end of the story. We're only in the middle.
The story, it's still got to be consistent, bro. You can't just like, it's plot armor.
I don't think so.
All right.
Let's see. They're also
Shin has more training than Sabine.
Yeah, but you gotta also understand: is Balin teaching her everything, or is he holding back? a lot of like, and I know they were saying that they're dark Jedi, but that's what the fucking Sith are. They're fucking Jedis that use the dark side. You know what I'm saying? That's what they are. That's who the fucking beginning of the Sith, like, as fucking not the Sith people, but as the Sith fucking, like, the Brotherhood of Darkness and all them fucking Sith. They were all Jedis first. And then they went to the dark side. So technically, they're all dark Jedi, and they called themselves the Sith. So it's just, a Sith is somebody that uses the dark side of the Force. But like a lot of Sith, and I'm guessing dark Jedi, since they became the Sith, they wouldn't teach everybody. Even Bane wouldn't teach fucking, you know what I'm saying? They don't teach them everything, and we don't know how long she's even been his apprentice.
That's fair.
There's no explanation on them two yet on how long they've been together. They could only been together for like a month. He could have just found her and be like, oh, she got Force abilities, and started training her. We don't know. They haven't given us any backstory on them yet. And I doubt that they will, be just for the simple fact of, they might on Shin, but with Rey, because he's gone, so Balin is not going to be in season 2 if there's a season 2. Balin's not going to be there because Ray Stevens passed away. So, they might give us a little bit of backstory on him, like in, fucking other episodes in season 2, or I think they'll give us more backstory on Shin. Shin, for all we know, she was a Jedi in hiding, and fucking Balin stumbled upon her and convinced her to come to the fucking, come with him. Or she could have been a Jedi. And then, Balin found her after the Empire when she came out of hiding. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's all kind of different. We don't know until they give us if they give us some explanation on it.
Right.
Chris said they're also kind of in a rush, so understandable that they went for the map to prevent them from calculating the jump. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. She just grabbed it and it burnt her hand. I was like, why did it burn her hand?
You know how they shot off on a hyperdrive? How did that automatically blow up the ships like that?
Automatically blow up the ships.
Yeah, remember? So they engage the hyperdrive, go past the X-wings, and the X-wings just all go crazy and smash into each other and crash.
Because
how did that happen?
The Force.
The Force.
The Force of the fucking thing going into hyperdrive, and they go right through the middle of it. Remember, it's a big ring.
Yeah, I know.
If you took a big giant ass ring and hit it at light speed, you know what I'm saying, and fucking swung it over anything, put anything through the middle of it, that's just gonna move around. It's not gonna stay straight. That's a lot of force going through there. So it's gonna cause them all to fucking go outrageous and fucking start flying, in all kind of odd directions, because they lost complete stability of their ships at that point. That's a lot of force. Something jumping into hyperspeed, hyperspeed, or hyper whatever. Fuck, my brain ain't working right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just a force, and then they just lost control.
Okay.
And only 2 of them crashed. There was 3 of them at the end. There was three.
That was funny. As soon as they did that, they didn't even check this. No radio to the X-wings. They're they're fucked. there wasn't hey, are you okay? Are you okay? It was no, let's just look at the pretty lights.
Oh, Chris says her fight with Balin. Oh, wait. Infected said, oh, you already read that. For her fight with Balin, Chris said, I think she's only used the one saber because she needed a free hand to grab the map during the fight. Yeah, that could be a possibility. I didn't think about that. We knew Ahsoka wasn't going to die. And see, we didn't know. They don't really explain. I know somebody said in here the world between worlds, but you have to go through a gate to get to the world between worlds. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through one of the gates. So that was kind of fucking, because when Ezra, he opens up the gate and then he snatches her back through the gate when fucking Palpatine is trying to get him. When he sends that blue flame in there, you have to go through a gate to get to the world between worlds. So for her just to be in the world between worlds, that was kind of weird to me. I was just like, So I figured that she was like fucking dead, and that's probably why they're gonna use that fucking dumbass line that they do in all the TV shows and shit. You know, hey, it's not time for you to go. You must go back and finish the fucking thing. They even did that shit in Constantine. And it was like, what the fuck? You know, he fucking cut his fucking wrist and bled to death, and then God was like, nope, not time for you to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to piss the devil off by not letting him take you. It says, and that's that's a good thing.
Hold on. But help me think about this real quick. The shockwave, would that work like that in a vacuum?
It's still force. You got to think about it like this. So if somebody,
so like if there's an explosion, right, and it kicks you back because it's the air pressure and it's blowing the air molecules away from you, and that hits you and you fall backwards, right? But in space, there's no air in between.
But if air pushes you in space, you still travel.
There is no air
away.
in space, but there is no air in space, is what I'm saying.
But there's no air in space, right? But if I took and I like fucking like. So if I took and
I'm honestly trying to figure this out. That's what I mean.
Because of the force, you got a giant.
Am I just overthinking it? Am I just overthinking?
Yeah, you're overthinking because a comet going through space.
Right.
A comet is flying through space, right?
Yes.
It will blow things out of its way. There's no air in space, but shit will it'll push things because of the force. There's still a fucking object moving, and there's still force being. Because of the movement. There's still force there. So that shit goes around them, and you got to figure it's going into light speed, which is a shit ton of fucking force. That's a shit ton of fucking, I'm
just wondering what's hitting them, because usually like it's the air molecules all slamming into each other and then slamming into you, but there's no air molecules, it's a vacuum. So
yeah, but there's still force from the rockets.
Gas? Is it? I know, but what are
the hyperdrive? The hyperdrive kicks off. Is still force. There's still force there. There's an energy that's being pushed, and that energy being pushed is sending it into light speed. Is fucking going around the ring is going around them. So with the ring going around them, there's still force from the fucking projection of it going into light speed.
Of it coming.
So it'd be the same concept as like a comet flying through fucking space, and it will fucking push. You know what I'm saying? It's probably way more force than that because a comet ain't going at light speed. And it'll still, like, they've shown, like, if you go online and you look like fucking a comet traveling through space and it's going through like a fucking...
But Nelson, that's on planet Earth where there's air molecules. I'm talking about in a vacuum.
It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same way as the blaster coming, you know, and fucking she blocking the blasters and it's pushing her back, you know what I'm saying, in space. There's still some force. You know what I'm saying? There's still a force coming at you. If a fucking ship flies by you, it's going to push you away because you still have matter moving. No matter if it's in space or if it's where it's at. There's still matter moving. So there's energy that's being pushed off from that matter.
Right.
So that's what's happening. So it goes through them, and it's going through them at super fucking, you know what I'm saying, velocity because it's going into light speed. That's a lot of fucking force to push them out of or to cause them to go into, because it really didn't push them. It kind of just fucked up their, you know what I'm saying, it just kind of made them fucking like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? But it's still, there's still matter moving. So there's energy. As long as there's matter moving, there's going to be energy projected from that. So if there's energy projected from that, it'd be no different than like an airlock. You know what I'm saying? You're fucking standing, you're trying to get in and you open up the fucking door to the airlock, all the air is going to rush out of whatever ship that it's in and push you away. There's still something moving. As long as you have moving matter, air molecules, fucking a giant ship, a rock, it's gonna make energy because it's moving. Now,
also, I guess it doesn't matter. We already saw physics don't work the same in space, but that's been in all Star Wars movies, I guess. Well,
another thing is you got to think about it too. This is a fucking TV show. It don't need to make sense. Fuck, it just needs to fucking, it got to be exciting. You got to fucking show some story to it. The ship goes by and fucking pushes the X-Wings and you're like, oh, the X-Wing pilots died. Causes a reaction. But I mean, as long as there's force moving, then you're gonna be okay. Going back to the fucking Ahsoka Shin fight, like, I don't get Ahsoka. You couldn't move. I mean, not Ahsoka, but fucking Sabine. You couldn't even move a cup. What the fuck was throwing your hand up fucking gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like,
True.
And I understand it was like a fucking ploy.
Yeah.
I understand it was a ploy. Get her attention. She's like, you have no power, and then I can use my wrist rocket because you're not fucking paying attention. But at the same time, it was like, dude, there was a better way. Like, you could have like flipped her off or something, you know? Jesus. Like you're using the force and then don't nothing happen, and she's like, yeah, I don't know. That just seemed kind of corny to me. It was like, all right, they could have made that more exciting. My biggest thing is like the excitement factor. This had a lot of excitement in it. The story is still projecting in a way that we know, because we do understand that they're going to find Ezra and Thrawn. That's the whole point of the first season. So we know that. But the excitement, the good, bad, lose, win thing is going good. Like I said, I really didn't like the lightsaber duel with Ahsoka and Baylan. It just, I don't know, it to me, it wasn't exciting. I don't know if I'm just have high expectation because I know how dope Ahsoka is. And it's like, this dude is going to die like really fast. She's going to kill this dude quick. Like everybody else she kills like, you know what I'm saying? You got to think in the fucking, the Jedi, or Jedi Tales or whatever, the Tales one. I mean, that fucking Sith walks up to her and she ain't even got a lightsaber and she kills him in like fucking 2 seconds. Then, you know what I'm saying, Merrick, he's dead. You know what I'm saying? And then just like she can't beat this old guy. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, I understand that she's not supposed to because it doesn't project the story. But I don't know. It seemed clunky to me. The first 2 lightsaber battles, the very beginning where she's outside fighting the droids or whatever the hell them things were. And I did not like, come on now. The Hun Yang part, or however you say his name, when the droid attacks him, dude, this dude been training Jedis for thousands of years. Like forever. And this robot was kicking the shit out of him. Like, dude, that bothered me so much. Like, dude, this dude is dope. He has trained Jedis forever. Helped them build their lightsabers. Helped in their training. You know what I'm saying? You see how good he was doing just, you know what I'm saying, just training Sabine. And this, whatever the hell that was, a robot, I'm pretty sure it was a robot, just was kicking the shit out of him. And I'm like, dude, that's not going to happen like that. It bothered me because I don't know what it is with Disney. Why Disney's tried to make these characters is super dope. They try to make them like, they try to dumb them down. You know what I'm saying? They try to make them like, right. Dude, who Yang would have handled that dude like it wasn't that, whatever it was, that robot. Like, it wasn't shit. He would have fucked that robot up. Dude, his fucking tactical skills is fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? And like, he's getting his ass whooped. Like, dude, why do you dumb down the characters? Like, dude, you can cause them to lose without making them suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Rocky lost, and Rocky didn't suck. He just lost. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's okay. He didn't suck. You know what I'm saying? He still put up a fucking fight before he lost. Like, you're just letting these people just get their ass whooped and just fucking be sorry. Like, why are you taking some good characters and just making them not as good as they really are? You can still make them lose. You can come up with an idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, how hard did fucking, like, the Ahsoka and Baylan fight? They're fighting, you know what I'm saying? And he's just overpowering her, and it's like Ahsoka's didn't use her other lightsaber. I understand she needed a free hand. That does make a lot of sense, Chris. But she was just like, it just didn't. He was doing it too easy. Like, why don't you have her just be beating him really, really bad, and then force shove her over the fucking edge or something? You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to hit her over the edge. He doesn't have to necessarily use the lightsaber. He has the force. There's other things. He might not been a great lightsaber duelist, but he's really an expert in force abilities. You know what I'm saying? Do something like that. Make it more interesting. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and I think they try to dumb down the characters, and it's like you don't need to do that. There's other ways around it. And I don't know, they do that there. They did it to in Obi-Wan. They did it in Book of Boba Fett. They done it in, in this series. They did it in Andor. It's just like they dumb down great characters, and you don't need to. You could come up with a different idea on how to make somebody lose a fight. You know what I'm saying? To prolong the story. There's other ways to do it than dumbing down the character. Because Ahsoka's we all know Ahsoka's dope as shit with a lightsaber. She's probably the one that, like, none of the other Jedis other than Obi-Wan had, you know how many damn Jedis fucking Darth Vader killed? Ahsoka whooped Darth Vader's ass. You know what I'm saying? Whooped the shit out of him in lightsaber combat. Right. And that's Anakin. That's her fucking master. Of course, he lost a lot of his abilities, but he done killed all these fucking Jedi, and she handles them in Rebels. You know what I'm saying? Handles him. So you don't have to make the character suck in order for her to lose. You know what I'm saying? And that's a straight Easter egg, you know what I'm saying, from the Rebel series with her fighting Baylan and her fighting Vader, because Vader goes to kill her, and she ends up in the world between worlds. You know what I'm saying? Ezra drags her through the door. This is a straight Easter egg or a straight nod to that. It's the same basic thing. He hits her off the thing and she wakes up in the world between worlds. It's basically the same thing. It's like, and which I don't mind Easter eggs, don't get me wrong. I thought it was cool that they thought about that. But I didn't like the way that he was beating her. It's like, dude, man, y'all are making, like, Ahsoka is fucking probably one of the best lightsaber duelists ever. Look at the way she did Maul in 7. And I know it's hard to, you can't really compare what a cartoon can do to a actual person, because you can make a cartoon do anything. You can take animation, make her flip over 400 fucking times and fucking beat 1,000 people with blasters. Yeah, you can do all that. Real person is not going to be able to do that. Because especially Rosario Dawson is not athletic enough. I'm not saying that she's not, because I don't know personally. But from what she's showing on the thing, she can't do that stuff. So I don't expect that. But you don't make her suck. You know what I'm saying? Don't make her just be fucking bad. And I don't even think it's Dave. I think Disney their writers, or when they're okay and shit, it has to kind of have this concept for them to give the green light on it. Like, instead of just letting somebody be super dope and get beat by, the Force, or get beat by something happens, like Shin threw a fucking bomb and it blew her over the edge, or any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Or fucking Sabine tried to shoot Baylan and fucking he dodges and it fucking hits Ahsoka. She falls off the fucking... I mean, they could have just done so many different fucking things instead of just making her doesn't look like she's that dope, and then Baylan knocking her off the fucking edge like that. It just kind of made her look sorry. Which that, I don't know.
In fact, it says, I really think the Rock thing is because Baylan is literally outmuscling her and physically pushing her around. Seems strong as a motherfucker. Yeah, dude, I still think he looks definitely stronger than Ahsoka does. But I mean,
strength-wise, and like size and like force of the thing.
I still thought it was weird, like her standing up there, like, and him she's now off balance. Like, I feel like he could just swipe and done. I didn't like that whole lightsaber duel. At first it was okay, but then they got to like standing around, and then she was like kicking her leg. It was kind of weird.
She did more on her martial abilities, kicking and hitting him, than she did with the sword. Did you notice how Baylan's how his armor was reminiscent of like freaking like Greek, how they tied it up in the back. It's all tied in the back.
I didn't really look at the back.
Yeah, it's all tied in the back. Yeah, when he turns his back, you see it all tied up. I thought that was cool shit. Like, I like when they use stuff. And that was like some of the best parts to me is when they were sizing each other up and they hit like clink clink, and then they're back and they're like, and they're doing a different fucking samurai. Dude, that shit was dope to me. But I'm a big fan of old samurai movies. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan of like the old samurai and fucking ninja movies and shit like that. I'm a big fan of that. I've always liked those movies, and it just gave me that. It really was. Now I will say one thing. This was definitely fucking Star Wars. I feel like I was watching fucking Star Wars the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, never once did I feel like I wasn't watching Star Wars.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to highlight that. My mouse was wet. No, because I still think the lightsaber duels are very different than other Star Wars. These ones are a lot more clash, stand there for 20 minutes. Clash, stand there for 20 minutes. The Star Wars you're used to seeing has a little bit
what are you talking
faster
about?
pace.
In New Hope, how many times did fucking...
Yeah, but after New Hope, once we got to Empire, yeah, they stand there, but there was
Empire,
a little bit
they
more,
did it.
There was a
Return of
little
the
bit more
Jedi,
sword
they did
fighting
it.
than what we saw right there.
Yeah.
In this one, there was a lot more of that samurai, like people talk about, where they clash, stand there and pose. You know what I mean?
They're sizing each other up, but you gotta do. You gotta think.
But
the whole
let's be honest,
Obi-Wan Vader fight in New Hope is that, like the whole. That's all I do. Clink, clink, and they look at each other. Clink, clink, and then look at each other. Clink, clink, then look at each other.
Besides that, we haven't seen that for a while.
I mean, they even did it like you even got to think about it when Dooku and fucking Anakin are fighting. They do it. In every single one of the battles, in every single lightsaber battle, they do it.
Very different. Not like what we saw here.
Nah, it's the same shit.
No,
it's exactly. Even Yoda and fucking Dooku
dude,
did
it was so different.
No, it wasn't. It was the exact same shit. They all do. In every single one of the lightsaber battles, in every lightsaber battle you see, they do that shit.
I know they size each other up, but not like they were doing in Ahsoka.
No, they just gave more hints to the samurai shit. But
That's
you gotta think that old swing the sword to the backside. That's fucking and the fucking Obi-Wan this shit and all that they all do it. Maul did it. Fucking all of them do it. Every single fucking lightsaber duel you see, they all do that shit. They size each other up.
I know. Oh my gosh.
But they do the poses. Obi-Wan
like
got this pose, and then he got this pose.
Much more. This one was a lot more like emphasized.
They just took a longer period between. Yes. They took a longer period. That was it. But they do the same. Fuck, the worst one out of everyone is Obi-Wan and Vader fighting in A New Hope. Them motherfuckers click and then stand there for fucking 10 minutes. They had a whole conversation.
This was like dude, that's not a fight to compare to. That's a pretty shitty fight.
Fucking, that's the worst fight in all of Star Wars was Obi-Wan and fucking Vader and New Hope. Like, Jesus Christ, you guys gonna fight? Jeez, fucking guys had a whole fucking. But you know what I'm saying? It was based off the Beowulf armor. I don't know. I just know that it's like, because if you watch like go back and watch like Troy, how they're fucking strapping up the armor in the fucking back. Right. They strap that shit up, tie it all up in the back, and then they fucking the leather part. That's his shit was all reminiscent. I think the Romans is the ones that actually started that. Might have been the Greeks. I don't know. I can't remember. But like, and then he had the shoulder pads. They looked kind of like Obi-Wan's. And the Clone Wars. Yeah, there was a lot of little Easter eggs in this one that like was reminiscent of a lot of the Clone Wars shit, which was kind of cool for the simple reason that, you know what I'm saying, I expect more Easter eggs from Rebels, but when you really watch about it, what was I just fucking saying?
I have no idea.
I just had a brain fart. My brain. Oh,
I agree.
There was just a lot of reminiscent because you expect it to be more like Rebels because it's Rebels season 5, but they have a lot of Clone Wars Easter eggs in it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of nods to the Clone Wars over, which is kind of cool because you got to imagine that's where we got Ahsoka originated from, the Clone Wars, and then she was in Rebels. You know, and I like that. I really like that. It was just it just looked good. You know, it just made it feel really. It made it feel familiar. It gave you that fucking Star Wars nostalgia. And I think that's something that a lot of the fucking other episodes and other series have been lacking. It just didn't feel like Star Wars. It just felt kind of like Disney. This kind of felt more like Actually, all 4 of the episodes have felt more like Star Wars than like this is something that Disney's making.
Right.
And that's something I really like. So let's run through some of the Easter eggs. So I wrote down some of them. They had the New Republic iconic X-Wing. Hera uses Phoenix Leader. We know that they use Volcrum in it. The Void Between the Galaxies. That shit looked dope. You know what I'm saying? When she was pulling up the thing and she's bringing it up with her hand before the ball, like before it expands all the way around outside, you could see the two. It looked like fucking interdimension. Other than fucking like you're going between galaxies, there's like a void there, and that's out of they showed that in oh man, I know I should have wrote it down. Fuck man, I can't remember now. Shit. All right, when I remember it'll be I'll say it when I remember it. You had the Mark's true nature revealed. He's basically a fucking magic force ghost. Balin uses force empathy to manipulate Sabine. That was another Easter egg. Sabine's family died during the fall of Mandalore. And that's not really, because you don't see it in the Clone Wars or you don't see it in Rebels, but we know that Mandalore fell. We know that her whole family was on Mandalore during the Mandalorian when they explained the fall of Mandalore. So that was a good nod to the Mandalorian, the Purge of Mandalore. Shin uses a force choke on Sabine.
Yes.
And
she did.
That's definitely Easter egg because, you know, Darth Vader's signature force choke. The hyper space jump is a nod to The Last Jedi. Because you have the Ghost and the X-Wing reminiscent of Star Wars and The Last Jedi, but Hera and the 2 pilots survived.
I did like finally seeing the Ghost again.
Yeah, seeing the Ghost is dope. I like the Ghost. The Ghost is like one of the ugliest ships ever. It's just like a fucking flying square.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I've been waiting to watch. I've been waiting to see it. I've been saying flipping every Wednesday episode we've had. When are we going to get to see the Ghost?
Yeah, the Ghost. I'm glad we got to see the Ghost. And they gave a nod out to Jason Syndulla being force sensitive. He says, I have a bad feeling about this at the end. I have a bad feeling about this. You know what I'm saying? A nod to, I had a bad feeling. How many people have said that? Well, we say 12 in the last episode. Wasn't that one of your questions? And then the World Between Worlds, of course, and then Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost returns in Ahsoka, which I don't know how they consider that a Force Ghost. I thought, and Nielsen, you're fucking completely right. Like, why didn't they fucking bring Zeb in? Like, why couldn't Zeb be on the Ghost with Hera and Jason? You know he's in the fucking, he's part of the New Republic. You know he's part of the thing. We've seen him in The Mandalorian. That would have been a perfect place to put him. Just put him on a Ghost. Yeah, 13, Nielsen, that's great. It was like 12 or 13. Yeah. Well, and I was doing some research, and Skoll and Hati is also in, there's a Japanese book called Shingla. No, it's not Shinla, that's the movie. Damn it, I can't remember the name of the book. But it talks about a Japanese samurai master. And basically his apprentice, Hati. Or Shin, yeah, it's like Shin Hati or something like that. And they're like fucking, they go through like China. You know what I'm saying? It's during the war with Japan and China, and they go through China and they're like wiping out fucking like massive amounts of, like, they're super fucking dope. And like, I don't know if I remember the name of the book, I'll put it in the chat or I'll say it. But I think that Dave took some of that. I think that's where he got these, because it's like, I want to say it's Skoll in China or something. I can't remember now. But yeah, and I think that that's where they got this from. It might be from the Norse mythology, because Dave is definitely into all that shit, but I don't know. It's just like the names are in the book, like, and they're fucking super dope. The only red I fucking love Bailey. Infected said I was waiting.
I like Bailey. He's so far one of my favorite characters on this.
Like in the way back, everyone forgets to hyper jump into the Star Destroyer in Rogue One. Hyper jump.
What?
In Rogue One.
I don't remember a hyper jump in Rogue One. I remember them like crashing into a Star Destroyer in order for the other Star Destroyer to run in.
That was the Last Jedi, did the Hondo maneuver where she fucking sends it into, jumps in.
I remember like ships trying to leave while the Star Destroyer like light speeds in, and then they run into it as soon as he shows up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of it.
But I don't remember anyone hyper jumping into someone else, you know?
And the last Easter egg that I know, they ended the fucking show with the Darth Vader theme, which I thought was cool. All the music, huh?
Oh, I like how they brought in the music, but dude, I said from the beginning, even before the show, the World Between Worlds stuff is just weird, and I'm not a fan.
You got to go back and watch. See, that's why I keep on telling you. See, for somebody to know any...
But that's why I don't even like the Rebels, because they get into that. I don't like that. I think
you haven't even got into the World Between Worlds yet. That's not even until season 3 and season 4. You gotta understand what the World Between Worlds is. Like to get the fucking, you know what I'm saying, to understand why it's important and why it's important in the Force. What it means, what's the whole philosophy behind the World Between Worlds. Because if you don't, like somebody that's never fucking watched it, no Star Wars, or they're coming in and they've only seen like TV shows and the fucking the movies, the World Between Worlds, they're just gonna be like,
a lot of the people watching this haven't seen Rebels either.
Exactly. So it's not going to bother them because they know nothing about the World Between Worlds.
No, they're going to watch it and they'll be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, because they didn't explain that she's dead. They didn't explain if she's alive. No, she's just in a different place. Is she? The World Between Worlds could be have something to do with the Force. It should, you know, she could be dead and that's where Jedis go, or whatever the situation. They don't know. So it's just speculation on everything. So it's not really for them at this point. They didn't even know what the fuck the world, because they don't. It's not like they say, "Where am I at the World Between Worlds?" They don't say it, so they're not gonna know shit.
So what is?
But somebody that knows a little bit about the World Between Worlds, somebody like yourself that just heard it, but don't know the philosophy behind the World Between Worlds, you're kind of like, this is fucking dumb because you don't know the information. That's why I told you, go watch fucking Rebels season 3
So where
and 4.
is she? Where is Ahsoka right now? Because whatever it is, it looks fucking stupid.
It's the World Between Worlds. Basically, there's doorways. Basically, if you go back and watch Rebels, there's a doorway that pretty much the Force has created between each planet. All the planets in the fucking galaxy. And the World Between Worlds not only has a doorway between each planet, it's a doorway between different times. And the Force shows you the time in order that you need to be wherever you need to be when the World Between Worlds. And the only people that's ever even got to the World Between Worlds is Ezra and Ahsoka.
Right.
And the Emperor.
And what made them so special to get there? How'd they get there?
You got to go back and watch the fucking thing to understand how they got there. You'll understand the gateways. you'll understand the gateways and why the Force created this gateway. You'll understand it if you go back and watch Rebels.
Okay.
And I just don't know how fuck Anakin is just in the world between worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like
Chilling.
Like he's just chilling in the world between worlds. Because you see Yoda there, you see.
How did she fall? Well, I'm just saying, how did she fall and not die?
Well, my thing is
Threw
this:
her off the fucking cliff.
But she could have hit the water, because it never shows us her hitting anything.
But you can still die when you hit the water from that high.
Yeah, but not if you're using the Force to slow your momentum.
Oh, so she can fly.
Well,
or
not
like she
fly,
forces
but
herself before she hits the ground. I guess that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? But also at the same time, we don't know if she.
You've seen
right
Jedi
now, she could be in the fuck.
Really
she might not even be in the world between worlds, because what it says Ahsoka is knocked out having a lucid dream. This could all be a dream. We don't know until they explain it in the rest part of the story. We just know that she woke up, and she might be dreaming, and she might be dreaming about being back in the world between worlds, because we don't. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she was stuck in the world between worlds.
Between a lot like alternate like universes and stuff.
No, it's just it's basically a gateway that for some reason the Force made a gateway, and every world has a gateway to it. The crazy thing is the gateway is not separated by time. Like the time don't exist there. So the Force kind of lets you come into the world between worlds at whatever time you need. Like Ezra comes in and then he sees Ahsoka fighting Vader on Malachor.
It's like arbitrary. They just like pop in.
And he like the Force does. It's like kind of like a Force projection, but the world between worlds is portals between every world in the galaxy. It's not like another galaxy or anything like that. It's like in the galaxy that you're in. But time is like different there because Ezra is. It's like season 4. He finds a portal. And
like
he's in the fucking portal. Yeah, sort of, because he's in the fucking world between worlds, and the door opens and he sees Ahsoka, and he snatches Ahsoka before Vader can kill her. In season 3, Vader kills her. You know what I'm saying? He leaves. She's dead, and you see where he was about to kill her, and Ezra snatched her through the door and saved her. So, like, time is not like the same.
So you can like go back in time.
Not the door just opened up at that time. The Force does it. It's not you can't do it. The Force shows you what you need to see.
Interesting.
So, like Ahsoka was dead, but the door opened up during the battle, and Ezra saved her.
So did she die?
In season 3, she dies. Vader kills her.
And then later in
season 4, Ezra saves her before Vader can kill her.
Any type of going back in time.
But it's not. It's the Force is doing it. It's not. Ezra didn't decide to go back in time.
I'm aware. But still.
The Force did it. So just like the Force shows a Jedi the future. Now, that future might not be the exact future. There's 1,000 different things, 1,000,000 different things that can happen because the future is always in movement. Things change. People do different shit. The Force just shows you a certain outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like something that could happen. So you can do stuff to prevent that from happening. That's kind of what happened.
No, that's literally changing what already happened.
But it never happened if Ezra snatched
if you
her
went
out of the
back
way.
in time to stop it from happening, exactly.
So that's like like if you like look at our thing when it used to be in the countdown timer that we used to have at the beginning of the show. The countdown timer, Ezra snatches her through the door. He doesn't know why the Force showed him that. He doesn't know why the door opened up at that time.
Yeah, it's just random.
It's just random shit. It was a time that the Force decided needed to be fixed in order for us to, of course, have the fucking the Ahsoka series. We couldn't have the Ahsoka series. Ahsoka would be dead because Vader kills her, even though she was winning and the freaking temple went down and we don't see what actually happens. So we don't know for a fact that she ever died. We're saying she died because fucking Vader's the one that fucking got out the damn thing. She didn't come out. And we see in the fucking that he was coming down with the killing blow when Ezra snatched her through the fucking portal. Like, you just gotta go watch this shit, and then you'll understand.
Okay.
It's hard to explain, but you'll understand everything.
I get what you're saying. I just don't know how I feel about it. It's just
Go watch it makes more sense if you go watch Rebels. Like, the way I'm explaining
no,
is
it's making sense. It's making sense. I just don't know if I still think it sounds dumb, is what I mean. Like, I don't know if I like the concept. I like it when things happen, they actually happen. Instead
like
of
when you see Palpatine fucking trying to get them, and they're in the world between world, and he shoots out this blue fucking fire and shit. Anybody that hasn't seen Rebels, I'm sorry, because I'm giving a bunch of spoilers away.
Jesus.
It's fucking, like, everything makes sense when you see it.
All right.
It makes perfect sense.
I'll watch Rebels, and we'll see.
Been telling you, I don't know how the fuck you haven't watched it. You're watching Ahsoka.
Because I don't think it's that good.
It gets way better in 3 and 4. It gets way better, because then you know what I'm saying, just a lot of shit is explained.
If you want me to watch 3 and 4, you got to make 1 and 2 good.
1 and 2 are good. It's fucking my favorite Star Wars out of everything. I watch fucking Rebels before I watch anything else in Star Wars. Anything else, I'll turn on Rebels first.
Yeah, and we just have different tastes, because I don't think 1 and 2 were that good. That's the thing, man. Like, the story in Rebels, at least in 1 and 2 so far, it's not the story that's bad. It's like the episode to episode. Like, the overall story is good. The little stories are like, you know what I mean?
Later, Darth Sakari, he's going to bed. Yeah, Rebels is like, I can get past, the story is so good in Rebels, because it's like one of the only times that the story is just linear and it just explains everything. It goes fucking just explains everything, you know, and it goes through each episode, literally lets off from the last episode. Like, there's barely no fluff in that shit.
Well,
I mean,
part of why I like Star Wars is that it doesn't feel the need to explain absolutely everything.
But
it leaves mystery, and that's.
I mean, it leaves mystery. Rebels leaves mystery, but it goes through and it opens up avenues like Rebels, but above and beyond all the rest of Star Wars. Rebels, it takes you on a journey from episode 1 all the way to the very last episode. It's a journey, and it goes through it's a fucking cartoon soap opera. I mean, they jump around a little bit, but it's pretty linear all the way. And it explains the LightSaber, where the LightSaber comes from. It explains fucking the Force way better. You get way more understanding of the Force in Rebels than you do in anything else, other than the books. Of course, the books are way more explanatory than any animated or TV show. But, like, it just explains, like, the Bendu explains things. Like, and without watching it, you're like, I mean, we have a basic concept of the Force, but Bendu explains the Force, like, explains what the Force really is. And it just gives you this fucking, like, wow, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always thought it was something else, you know what I'm saying? Because he's like, dude, there's no fucking dark side and light side. It's just the fucking Force. It's just how you use the Force makes it light or dark. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but when, like, I don't know, it just fucking Rebels is fucking amazing. Like, Rebels are just, like, I can watch Rebels over and over and over again, and I never get tired of it, because I always see something that I didn't see the first time, or the 10th time, or the 20th time that I watched it. I watched Rebels more than I have watched anything. I will, like, literally, like, turn on Rebels and go to bed to Rebels.
Bro,
like,
it's just
that's
so
how
hard
fucking
to watch Rebels. It's just so hard to watch every episode.
And and it's not even, the story is phenomenal. Now, the fucking animation is like, dude, the animation was better in the Clone Wars, which came out before that, which is kind of weird. But, and I don't know why they chose to do that animation style, but it's just a style. I'm not looking at it that I'm paying attention to the story. And I like the things that they included. Like, all the stuff that we're getting now is basically from Rebels. Inquisitors, first time we seen in Rebels. You know what I'm saying? Ahsoka being back. You know what I'm saying? First time we seen it was in Rebels. We got what happened to Kanan. You know what I'm saying? Where he went. You know what happened from the beginning, from after he left, we got this big gap. And then now we got Kanan back. And, you know what I'm saying? Then we get Hera and the Ghost and all this stuff. And, you know, all these characters that we are seeing in all the other shows that they're basically the Mandalorian got stuff from Rebels in it. Andor got stuff from Rebels in it.
Right.
You know, everything that they have created has stuff from Rebels in it. And of course, because Dave has been part of most of these projects.
Right. Do you think this is good? My only thing is like, this is referencing a lot of Rebels. You know what I mean? So people haven't seen Rebels. Are they getting kind of left behind?
No, not necessarily, because like my wife has been watching Ahsoka, which she's watched all that Ahsoka episode, and she understands what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If she didn't, she'd ask a lot of questions. That's how I know she understands what's going on.
Or maybe she just doesn't care enough.
But she'll ask questions.
No, that's just my wife. That's my wife. I'm just playing.
But but she understands what's going on. She's seen Star Wars before, so she's watching it, and she's, you know what I'm saying? So she knows it's dark side person, light side person. They're trying to get to this. She don't even know who the characters is. Like, she don't know who Thrawn is. She don't know who Ezra is. She don't know who none of these characters is. And she watches it, and she's like, yeah, that was cool. You know what I'm saying? But she's not a Star Wars fan. You know what I'm saying? She's not like me. I'm fucking a Star Wars fan. But she's not. So when she's watching it, she's like, oh, it was a good episode. You know what I'm saying? But she's not going to be like me. They're going to watch it, you know, 2-3 times, watch it first time just for the enjoyment, watch it second time to fucking dissect it and look for Easter eggs and look for different things like that. You know, she's not going to do all that. She's going to look for more Nielsen said and just watch the essential ones. I don't know, the whole Rebels is kind of, if you don't watch it in order, then you're kind of lost, because you'll be like, what the fuck?
Right.
When did this happen? What happened here?
I just I don't know. It's hard to get through the episodes for me.
Because you're not, I keep on telling you, the reason it's so hard because you're not allowing yourself to be a kid. You got to allow yourself.
I'm sorry, but is that what's wrong with that? Sorry, I like adult shows. I don't. You
gotta remember that these things like Rebels and Clone Wars and, you know, Young Jedi, these are made for kids. They're not made for adults. So you have to tap into your inner kidness.
Right.
You just gotta let shit be what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can't dissect a fucking cartoon and expect it to be good as a fucking $800 million movie or $1 billion movie. It's not going to be. It's not supposed to be.
That also influences. That's why I don't watch it.
You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be that. That's like saying I won't watch a movie because, you know what I'm saying, it's a B-rated movie.
Well, it's like, no.
One of the best movies of all times is a B-rated movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can't go into, you have to I go on YouTube and watch short films on YouTube all the time. Not just Star Wars short films, just short films in general. Because I want to see the imagination of people. I want to see what people create. I want to see what type of techniques that they use. You know what I'm saying? I know this is not a Hollywood production. It's not supposed to be fucking excellent. I look for the good things within it. You know what I'm saying? How, you know what I'm saying? What did they do? You know, how did they do that? You know what I'm saying? I look at, was their dialogue good? Was the story good? One of the best fucking things I've ever seen is a short film about a deaf dude.
Right.
He's fucking deaf, and he's talking to a fucking girl on fucking line, or he's not even deaf. He stutters. He has a real bad stutter. And he's talking to this girl online, and he's scared to meet her because she doesn't know that he has a stutter. You know what I'm saying? Then he meets the girl. They finally meet up. And she's fucking deaf. So, the fucking story is amazing. And it's like a 5-minute long short film. And the fucking story is amazing. It's amazing the way that they did it. So, when you look at stuff, you have to look at stuff in the objective of what it's for. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that objective in your mind.
Yeah, and I understand. And I understand it's for kids. But that doesn't mean I want to watch something that's for kids. You know what I mean? That's just
I
my
get that.
opinion. Even though it's for kids, yeah, it might objectively be a good show for kids, but it's still difficult to get through.
I don't know. The fucking story is amazing. And you got to also understand, like, even like right now, you know what I'm saying? We're watching Ahsoka, all right? Ahsoka's, they try to make it for everybody. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't, but most kids wouldn't understand that shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? So technically, and they know this in a certain sense. They want to make sure the kids can understand it, but you got a lot of kids ain't even going to understand the dialogue that they put in here. Because they use words that they're not going to understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they're trying to make it for everybody. This is not just, you know, even Andor was made to where kids could watch it. Like, because you don't see the violence.
Fucking genius.
You don't see the violence. It's just like they basically use like the old Psycho fucking method. All you got to do is see the fucking knife in the air and her going, ah, and then blood splattering on the wall. And you know what fucking happened. That's an adult thing. A kid don't know what happened because they don't know anything about that. They don't have the, well, nowadays they do because shit, fucking kids be watching shit way more gruesome. That's why I'm like, why do you guys keep trying to make shit for kids? Kids understand more than us adults. Right. You know what I'm saying? My fucking 5-year-old grandson fucking loves fucking slasher films. Like he'll understand that shit. So I don't understand why they try to make it, they try to tone it down and stuff. It doesn't make no sense, especially in today's, but that's Disney. But, you know what I'm saying, there's just certain things that they can, you know what I'm saying, and there's just certain, when you go in and look at something, I'm looking at it, you know, like the first time I watch it, I just watch it for the enjoyability of watching it. Like, even like Book of Boba Fett, I just watched it to enjoy watching it. Like, God damn, look at how much CGI they're using. Look at that motherfucker really looks like a Rancor. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then, you know what I'm saying, like, then the second time I watch it, that's what I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying, like blaster bolts off, sound off, music not fitting the scene, you know what I'm saying. You can't look for green screen pop up. That's like my biggest thing, green screen pop up, but they don't use green screen in it, so they're using all in that fucking giant dome, so everything looks perfect. So you're not gonna see a green screen pop up, but you're looking for something, you know what I'm saying? I look for all that. The third time I'm watching them, it's kind of like a combine. Do I notice these things that are off when I'm just watching the episode? I'm looking for more, you know what I'm saying, like, is it throwing off the episode the things that I dislike about the show? Like the camera shake. That shit just fucked Kenobi all up, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't get past the camera shake. I noticed it in the second time I watched it. I didn't even notice the first time I watched it. I noticed it the second time because I'm looking for things. And once I noticed it, then it just fucked up everything because then I just noticed it all the time. But it's because it was something that was bad. So I try to watch everything 3 times. Like Ahsoka today, I only got to watch it twice. And I seen some things that just was, like there were several lightsaber swings that like, it should have just cut this person in half. And it just went by them, like, you know what I'm saying? But all the blaster bolts was on par. All the special effects looked really, really good. They didn't look clunky or, you know what I'm saying, out of place. They looked really good. The music was good. This ting ting bing bong music that they're doing, I don't know, for some reason I freaking love the shit out of this stuff. I don't know why. Maybe it's reminiscent of old samurai movies or something else, but it just, I don't know, there's like this one part where the sound is playing and I don't know, it just reminds me of Conan for some reason, like old school Arnold Conan. I was like, dude, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, I look for all these little, you know, the little things, you know, and most of the production has been, on the first 4 episodes, has been fucking excellent. Like, I haven't seen, like, nothing really out of place. Whoever's editing this, the dude is a master. Dude or woman or whoever it is freaking great at editing this. The pacing's been good on all the episodes. The pacing's been real good. It's been slow when it needed to be slow because they're explaining something, but there was always something in the background that's keeping you occupied so it didn't feel slow. You know, it didn't feel like the pacing was also, it's been kept on pacing pretty well all through all 4 episodes. Like I said, I don't know, the video when in the last episode when she's talking to Mon Mothma, it just kind of looked weird. It didn't look Star Warsy to me. But then they made up for it on the rest of the space battles and stuff because we haven't got that. So yeah, it's just like, and then plus, like I said, what I want to do is I want to wait till it gets completely done. Once 7 comes out in 2 weeks, I want to cut it up into a movie. I think I could shrink it down and make it a lot better. But overall, like this episode, like I probably get this episode.
I think Ahsoka would be better as a movie, to be honest.
Well, and I think a lot of this stuff is, you got to also remember, Disney went from making movies. You're making movies, and they come out with Disney Plus.
TV shows.
Now you're making TV shows. They're not known for making TV shows other than, you know what I'm saying?
I think this
Mickey Mouse Club and
we already know
Hannah Montana and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not used to making these type of TV shows, something that's like this. So you're taking a lot, and then you got people like Jon Favreau and Dave and them. You know what I'm saying? Dave is in animation. That's what he did. Jon Favreau made movies. You know, and then you're taking it. So you got writers and stuff that are writing, you know what I'm saying, that are used to writing movies. And now, or like kiddie TV shows, like really, really kiddie TV shows. And then you stick them because this is Disney writers. And then you put them in the room and you say, write freaking Star Wars. And they're like, okay. And shit, they might not have even seen Star Wars. And we know that because the fucking writers that wrote Kenobi, you wrote in shit that's non-existent. So when you look at all that stuff, you notice, like, this is not something that this should be a movie. That's why Kenobi as a movie, even with the fucking, this should have been a movie. Yeah. Even with the camera shaking, you know what I'm saying? Which
it was better as a movie.
The dude took a lot of that camera shake out. He just, he cut out stuff that didn't need to be there. And basically when you're watching any of the Disney TV shows, other than Andor, because Andor, the only reason Andor didn't do it because Tony Gilroy wrote it all. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like multiple people were writing it. This one has a lot of
unnecessary stuff. Yeah, this should have been a movie. You can cut out a lot
I don't even think it's unnecessary. It just, you don't need, some of the dialogue that's in there in some of the scenes is not needed to project that scene because we didn't need to know that. Why is it there? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you're watching it, you don't notice it because the pacing is good. That's why you don't notice it. Like you noticed it in Kenobi. The pacing is good in this.
This episode, some previous
all four of them, the pacing's been good.
No, some of them have been really slow, dude.
But see, you got to understand pacing. But your ass is dissecting it. That's because you're looking at it. But when you just watch it, and you're not looking for anything, like me, the first time I watched it, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just enjoying it. You don't even know that it's there. Because there's other things that's happening in the background and other things that are happening. Somebody's talking, somebody's moving, somebody's doing something. That keeps pacing in order. Just because the dialogue slows down or the scene slows down, that has nothing to do with the pacing of what's going on. Because there's other things going on to keep you distracted.
No, I just think there's visually, in a lot of their scenes, there's not a lot going on. Well, you know what I mean? It's just Ahsoka. No, hold on. It's Ahsoka standing there with her arms crossed, right? It's very dry, and because she speaks very like monotone and very like flat, it does get really slow. It does get kind of boring, and the pacing does get a little bit off because there's nothing happening. There's nothing engaging.
Well, and you're not looking. See, so. Like when the one time where she's standing there, she's talking to Sabine and she got her arms crossed and Sabine is sitting down and she's telling Sabine not to take the map. Don't take the map out of here. Are you watching what's going on in the background?
Which one?
Where they're standing in.
Which part you're talking about?
The part where she's holding the map when she first gets the map and she goes to Sabine.
In just this last episode?
No, it's in season 2. Or in episode 2.
Oh, episode 2. Are they on the ship?
Yeah, they're on the ship. They got the big round table, and she's sitting there like this. And that's probably the slowest time. But if you're looking in the background of all the stuff that's going on in the background, you got Hu Yang walking by about 5 times. You got other stuff happening. See, noticing those little things in the background is what kept the pacing perfect. Because you got to notice what's going on in the background. You got to look at the map. That's what, you know what I'm saying, when she's holding the map and she's talking about the map being able to open it. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the intricate design on the map, on the ball. You know what I'm saying? There's things that they're doing to keep you, that you're supposed to focus on. That's why they bring the ball up in the middle of the screen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're supposed to focus on the ball. What you're doing is you're focusing on the dialogue. See, if you're focusing on the ball, if you're focusing on the ball, because that's the reason they got the ball directly in the middle of the camera and it's up close to the ball. Because you're supposed to be looking at the design of the ball, because that meant something.
So I'm not supposed to be listening to what the character says?
No, you're supposed to be listening to what the character say, but you're supposed to be focusing on the ball. That's the reason they put it up to the screen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be focusing. You're supposed to be looking at the design on the ball. I don't know why, but that's what they want you to focus on. For some reason, that's going to be important at some point, and I guess it might have been important to Morgan, and then they just didn't explain it very well. But there's a reason that they put the ball in the middle of the screen, because you're supposed to be focusing on the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps pacing moving, because they're distracting you from something. You know what I'm saying? That's what, when you're pacing a video, okay, dialogue might slow up and down, action goes up and down. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have action the whole fucking time. You can't have just dialogue the whole time. You gotta balance that shit out. Correct. So whenever you go to a dialogue scene, a dialogue is always slower, because you just got people talking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be super exciting because it's not action. So they do things in order to distract you, which keeps the pacing in the right level. The pacing actually slowed down. It seems really, really slow. But if you're like paying attention to the camera techniques, you know what I'm saying, like putting the ball up and then they focus just on the ball. You know what I'm saying? Your focus is supposed to go to that. Because you're a critic and you're looking for every detail.
I'm a huge
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know you're noticing things because you're looking for stuff. You're looking for things that you like or dislike.
That's true. That's true. And that is how I watch everything.
That's why I said the first time you watch it just as fun. Don't look for nothing, don't do anything, just watch it.
Right.
Then you go back and watch it the second time. That's when you look for the problems. That's when the critic part comes in. Because
sometimes like even when I'm not trying, stuff will pop out.
Yeah, certain things just pop out. There's nothing you can do about that.
And that's how some things have been in this show. Things have been popping out. You know what I mean?
A critic, an actual critic, not like me and you that just do a podcast and criticize shit. You know what I'm saying? An actual critic told me, you always watch first. Watch it. Don't think about looking for shit. Just watch it and enjoy it. Then the second time, go back and watch it again, and that's when you dissect things. Right. Because if you don't, you'll dissect everything, and you won't ever watch anything that's enjoyable, because you will find every little thing to criticize.
Well, no, because I'll still find stuff that's enjoyable like this, but yeah, I mean, that could be why I fucking hate a lot of shows recently.
Because now you've got to the point that you criticize things.
No,
you know what I'm saying? You're subconsciously looking for problems with things.
I'm not looking for
my
something
wife gets
wrong,
mad at me
I'm
all the time because that's why I like going to the movies. I don't like watching stuff at home, because when I watch stuff at home, like a movie comes out, I watch it at home and I'll be like, my wife gets mad because I'm like, did you see the fucking green screen right there? Don fucking editing mother. Did you see that? That bitch wasn't even talking and her fucking mouth was moving. Why the fuck is words coming out and her mouth is closed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll notice shit. So I've been working on myself, because I used to do that a lot, but I've been working on myself. I've been trying to work on myself. Like, I'm not gonna fucking pay attention to none. I'm just gonna watch it and enjoy it, and then I'll watch it a second time and a third time. Most things I watched 3 times. I just didn't get to watch this episode 3 times. But
last thing,
I'm not enjoying shit. I'm just fucking criticizing shit, and I'm not enjoying what I'm actually watching. Okay. So this one.
What do you think about Morgan? Hold on. What do you think about Morgan, the character?
Morgan?
So far,
the character. Yeah. I'm intrigued by her.
Really?
Yeah, I like the.
Dude, it might just be. I'm not a big fan of her, to be honest.
I like the Witches of Dathomir, and I'm glad that they brought him back. I thought Because they don't ever really explain in the Clone Wars what happened to him. And I'm hoping that, you know what I'm saying, they'll give a little bit of explanation about what the fuck, like, I've been hoping. I'm pretty sure they're probably not, but I've been hoping that they will give a little bit of explanation what happened. They kind of do in Rebels a little bit, but it's still not a really good explanation. I think there's more details to it. But I always liked the fucking Dathomirians, you know what I'm saying? The Witches of Dathomir, because fuck, that shit was a dope concept. Force magic, like, because I know the Sith could use it from the books. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck ain't, and then in Rebels, we see Palpatine use it. And that gave way more depth to Palpatine, because, you know, Palpatine's like, dude, how the fuck this dude just knows shit? This dude uses fucking Sith fucking magic and shit to do a lot of shit. And it's explained in Rebels, which gave him a lot more character, you know what I'm saying? Because really, Palpatine don't really have that much character, you know what I'm saying? We seen him in the prequel trilogy. We know he's a bad guy, you know what I'm saying? If you've read, you know what I'm saying, some of the books you kind of know, but it wasn't a lot on screen. And then Rebels gave us that. And in this, you know what I'm saying, the Dathomirians, it's like, we know that in Clone Wars, he had somewhat of a fucking relationship with the Queen of Dathomir, you know what I'm saying, or the Queen of the Mother Talzin, you know what I'm saying. We know that he has some type, so I want more of the Witches of Dathomir to be explained. And so for them to bring back a character that's being a witch of Dathomir, which she's human, so I don't know. I mean, somebody had to teach her or whatever. But it's just, it's a good concept. I like it. So that's like, I'm very intrigued by her. I'm intrigued by Balin. I want to know more information about him. Shin, I don't know. She looked weird to me. So I don't really care too much about her. But that's where I'm at with Morgan. I don't know. I like that she put up somewhat of a battle with that spear when she fought Ahsoka. You know, like she knocked one of the spears out of Ahsoka. But that was an excellent actual fight in that episode of The Mandalorian where she fight where her and Ahsoka fight. That was a good fucking lightsaber battle, and it seems like that was good. I liked it a lot. So it might have been just too, you know, just I fucking love fucking Ahsoka, and to see Ahsoka back, I was just fucking excited. But no, I watched it a couple times, so I liked, you know, I don't know, she intrigues me a lot. And I want to know what her tie to Thrawn is. Like, how the fuck does she know about Thrawn?
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's one of the reasons that's making this so good, because there's a lot of things that they're like leaving out there. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is she, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is she tied to Thrawn? You know what I'm saying? How did Thrawn and Ezra fucking survive? There was no windows in the fucking Star Destroyer, and you went into space. You know, how did you survive? Like, I think that's the intrigue of the whole series, is just because they're giving you a little bit, but it's stuff that you don't really like care to know. But the intrigue that they're putting behind it is like freaking awesome. Like, dude, man, like this what makes me feel like Clone Wars Rebels, because that's what they did. They gave you just enough to keep you entertained, but they left that intrigue out there to just draw you in and be like, fuck, I want to know what's happening. I want to know. And you know that it's going to be explained, because Dave explains stuff. But the way he's not just giving it all to you right in your face. Like, here you go. Like they did in the Clone Wars. You know what I'm saying? The Clone Wars is everything is right there. They give you everything. And this, they don't give you everything. And I like that. That's old school Star Wars. That's what Star Wars is. What's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, Obi-Wan got killed. What is Luke going to do? You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. That's what I like about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what's really my favorite part about it. The story is good. It's not the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to give it to everybody. Right. But the story is there. They're leading us somewhere. We kind of know where they're leading us, but we don't know what's going to happen when that happens. So that's pulling us in. You know, the CGI, the everything looks really good. The battles, the lightsaber battles could do, they could use a little bit of work, but we don't expect them to be Hayden Christensen. And I think, that's some of the things that we get. We expect everything to be Obi and, Anakin fighting, and it's not going to be that. Everybody isn't as good. It just sucks that Ahsoka's way better than they're portraying her. But overall, the aesthetics of it, the music is great. The Foley is great.
That's a big part. If Ahsoka's like holding her own against Vader, who the fuck is this guy that can?
Yeah, it's intriguing. Like, I want to know more about these characters. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving us a lot of backstory. They're not even giving us a lot of backstory when it came to Sabine and Ahsoka. They leaving that linger out there. And that's exciting because I'm like, okay, how the fuck did they even start training? What the fuck? When did Hera, she been fighting in this battle the whole, she just popped pregnant and popped the baby out in the middle of a battle. I want to know what's going on. And they leaving it out there, which is really, really good because they're not explaining these things to us. They're just giving us a little snippet, just enough to draw us in some more. Come on, come back and watch some more. And I like that. It's not
but with stuff like the relationship between Ahsoka and Sabine, that's something that's like important to these characters. And if we know nothing about the relationship, it's like, well, this just feels weird. Like, why do I care?
I don't know. I don't feel like
that.
So
I feel like they're, for me at least, they're exploring some of the wrong things.
They're baiting us.
But again, like I'm talking about,
we know at some
point
point
dry in the series. And so
we know at some point Ahsoka was training fucking her. We know at some point they got into a fucking argument, and they or whatever happened, and Ahsoka ran from her just like she ran from Anakin in the Jedi Order. When shit got tough, she ran. She admits to that. So there's character development there. Right. You know what I'm saying? We know, Sabine being hard-headed. She was hard-headed in Rebels. But even if you didn't see Rebels, you can see that she's hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? So you see where they got into it about. Like, we basically all know now, but the little intricate details of how they got hooked up, they probably ain't going to tell us that this season.
But like, they're stuff like, why does Sabine want to be a Jedi? Why does Ahsoka want to train Sabine?
I don't know. I mean, I do agree with you. That would be kind of it make the story better because then you would know a little bit more about their backstory.
What's the motivation of these characters? But for training each other, I understand the motivation of the plot, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, sorry. What do you rate it?
What's going on, Jay? Okay. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
7.5.
There were some things that they could have corrected. Some things that I guess that I took as a bad part that really isn't that bad, but it is. That's why I ain't gonna give it a whole point. I'll give it a half a point. So I'll say 7. I'll say 7.5. I would say 7, but I think one's just me.
So it looks like we're getting closer in our scores because we used to always be like 2 apart. Now we're only 1 apart. I give it a 6.5.
I thought it was a good episode.
Like I said, it's better. It's definitely an improvement. It's going in the right direction. There were some really good parts to the episode, but like I said, some of it was like just a letdown. I don't know. The fights were kind of dumb. Some logical, just interesting things, but yeah, I already talked about it. But it's getting better.
I think it is.
And
I think it's getting better.
I don't know what they're gonna do for this whole
the last
scene. It was a weird cut, dude. It's a weird cut, like them falling off a cliff, and then like you got to explain what happened to her. You know what I mean? And hopefully they'll get into that.
They probably will in the next episode.
And her just like flashing into this other thing, and I feel like just showing Anakin for no reason was a little bit like it was fan servicey. It was like, what's the point of this?
Well, it was supposed to be a cliffhanger, and it kind of was, but it's like you gotta
to me it was
build up some anticipation, like not just her saying "master" and then turn around and Anakin standing there and then just cut away.
Right.
It really needed a little bit more dialogue right there to, you know what I'm saying, and then drop it off. Like have her ask him a question or him ask her a question. You know,
Well,
it was just
really what
Master.
it is. It's like it's a character that we already like because of another show, and let's bring him in and get people like they're riding off of
Yeah.
rather than actually making anything themselves. They're just riding off of this
Well,
Anakin
what I'm talking about
just
is like
showing up.
you just see Anakin and they cut off. So the question is,
Right.
you know, how is Anakin
They're
there?
just riding
But
off. Of
they should have
Anakin
really
already like.
they should have really asked the question. They should have really put they should have put a question. Like her asking him a question, what's going on? What's happening? Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Anything. She said Master, turned around, looked at Anakin standing there, and then they cut away. It's like you leave me on a cliffhanger, but it's a dull cliff. It's like a 2-foot drop instead of like way up here. If they'd have asked the question, then
to me it was more just like
up here.
It's more confusing rather than a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
it's not a cliffhanger like, oh my god, it was a cliffhanger. Like what?
Like, okay, how did you get here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what's going on? And it was confusing because it was just weird the way they did it. They should have asked the question first. And I don't know what John's, maybe he wants to know what the question is going to be asked, and that's where he left you at. So if you want to tune in next week to be like, I want to hear what she asked him. I want to hear what it said. I want to, you know, but I think that they could have led better with like, where am I? And then Master, and then she turns around, where am I? And then and then it cuts us off. Because now we want to know the answer to the question. I think he more left it as, let me just drop it right here so you come back so you can hear what question is asked. And I just don't think that was because you could have added another question. It's just, like I said, and see, that's a part that I feel that you could have just cut out and started the next episode with. Like she falls,
I would have
down the thing.
Yeah, honestly, how I would have ended
leave it right there.
I would have ended it with her falling, or I would have ended it with the pan over the cliff. Like, oh shit, like Ahsoka's gone.
Yeah, just don't even show us what happened.
Don't even show that whole.
And then start the next episode. And it might have been, you know what I'm saying, it might have been designed that way, but the cut was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or the episode pacing or the episode transition into the next episode was just wrong. Or I mean, there could be a multiple different reasons they did it like that. Right. I just think that they should have started the next episode, because that would have intrigued you right off the bat. Like, oh shit, it's Anakin. You know what I'm saying? Now we kind of know Anakin's going to be in the next thing. You know what I'm saying? And we see Ahsoka like going over the edge, looking at the water. You know what I'm saying? That's a long fall. You know, she might be dead.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she survived, because we know she can't die, but you know what I'm saying? And just cut it right there. I don't know why they chose to do it that way. I thought, you know, I agree with you. It was probably like a fan service. Let's show Anakin, get everybody hyper about Anakin being there, even though we all know he's dead. And he's a Force ghost or some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? That everybody's like, what? Because that's kind of how it's going to be. Because he has to be a Force ghost. You know what I'm saying? Because if Anakin survived all that shit, then none of this shit would even be happening. You know what I'm saying? So he has to be a Force ghost. It's just weird. Why does the Force ghost in the world between worlds? Why? Well, like, you didn't go through a portal unless the portal's in the water or the rock she hit or something, or she's hallucinating. Yeah, I mean, she could be having a Force dream, or, you know what I'm saying? We just don't know until next week. That's why I kind of agree with you. It's more confusing because now you're just at speculation moment. Like, okay, you're not at like, I want to see what's going to happen less, so I'm speculating good things. You're speculating like, what was the fucking purpose of this? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you're speculation more on the character than you are on the plot. Because now you're like, why? How's Anakin here? You know what I'm saying? Right. Instead of the plot of the actual story, like leading up to them introducing him.
I don't know. I think if the most exciting, if your cliffhanger is, hey, look at this random character that's dead showing up, instead of, oh my God, what's happening in the story, I think that reflects how good is your story.
Well, I think it's the cut.
Because it's like if you're, but if as the creator you think what's going to get people to come back is this appearance of a character rather than holy shit, like I want to know what's happening in the story, I think that kind of reflects on what you think of the story, does it not?
Well, not necessarily, because I look at it like at a point. It originally could have been written a certain way, and they said, okay, with time,
they just cut it weird.
They had to cut it there in order, because like the next episode could be 27 minutes. Well, now you need that extra little bit of time that you can put on there, so you cut it right here. Like this will still work, because it still works, but it's just not as good as the other one would have been if they'd have cut it right there, because it gave us more intrigue. Like, is she dead? They didn't show us. Cutting towards him,
bro. I still think Ahsoka and Sabine shared a little look during that wee part. I'm telling you, the way Ahsoka looked at Sabine, I'm telling you, this lesbian love story, it's coming. It's coming.
It
looked, bro, I'm just like, watch that scene and look at when she says, we do make a good team. Look at her eyes, bro. I swear to God.
But I thought it was more, I don't know. I thought it was more just like them trying to be funny or teasing.
It was funny, but I don't know. And it was cute, and that's what they were going for. But something about the look in her eye, man, I don't know. I'm sticking to this theory. And Chris says they're saying the next episode is supposed to break the internet. What's going to break the internet other than Ahsoka and Sabine getting it on?
Thrawn and Ezra being back.
I don't think that would break the internet, because we've seen that before. We haven't seen Ahsoka make out with Sabine before.
Oh, that would definitely break our internet.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Porn. But I don't know. Well, I have knowing Disney's track record, the episode before the final has never been as good, or it's kind of like, it's almost been like they've intentionally made it bad to make the last episode super good. But we're going to see Ezra and Thrawn hopefully in this next one. I hope they don't drag it out to the very final one, which they probably will. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to break the internet, but I think it's going to be, because they left to go to where Thrawn and Ezra at, and that's one of the intriguing part. How did they get to them? What happened to them? We all want to know that. I think the next episode is going to be a lot more about Ahsoka finding her balance or whatever with Anakin talking to her. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of it's going to be that.
And that's going to be breaking the internet? Or?
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's going to be... I just have a feeling, because that's kind of how Disney's done it. When it comes... Because there's only 7 episodes in this season. And with there only being 7 episodes in the season, we only got 2 more. And the way, and I'm not going to say because Davis wrote this independently from John and everybody else, but what Disney has done before, the episode before the final episode has never really been that good. It's been pretty, no, it's 7 episodes. Let me double check that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only 7 episodes.
I don't know. I feel it, but I also feel like the lesbian love thing. I feel like there would be rumors about it. The reason nobody's talking about it, I'm the only one talking about it. So now I feel like it won't happen.
Oh, maybe there is 8 episodes, according to 6 sources. Where did I see 7 at?
I don't know. So 4 more weeks.
8 episodes. October 4th is the last one. I've been saying 7 episodes. Man, why didn't y'all correct me before now? I'm over here looking like an idiot.
I don't remember
you ever saying 7 episodes for like 3
weeks.
I
don't remember you saying 7. I thought we always.
Yeah, no, I've been saying that shit for like 3 weeks. I seen somewhere it said there was only 7 episodes. I don't know, where the hell did I see that at?
I don't know.
Oh, no. That's right. Because they did episode 1 and 2 together. And the way it was originally explained was 1 and 2 is on the first day. So there's only 7 weeks of episodes because episode 1 and 2 was played together.
That makes sense.
That's where I got that from. Okay. I'm just being an idiot.
Well,
So they got 3 more episodes. Episode 7 will probably be the one that's slow and just.
well, that means so far, average for Ahsoka, we got 6 for the first 2, 7 and 7 is our average so far. So it's improving. Well, actually, you rated this last one lower than the one before it. So,
And I liked the last episode more. It just had, I don't know, it just made more sense. Like, I like episode 3. So far, episode 3 has been my favorite.
you liked
episode.
it better than 4. You like 3 better than 4.
I like 3 better than 4.
Interesting. And I think I like 4 better than 3.
I don't know. This episode, like, I don't like, Ahsoka's one of my favorite characters, like, all times. I've always loved Ahsoka. And just the way that they're portraying her, not even so much like the character, because she's the same character as in Rebels, but the way Rosario Dawson, I'm not even going to say it's Rosario Dawson, because you got to remember that this is how the action scene is made. You know, this is what they're telling them to do, and they'll jump off the rock thing, and
No,
she
it's
did
this
more
portrayal
damage
of
kicking,
Ahsoka.
and
Yeah, I think it's a mix.
One of the greatest things and one of the things that I love about Ahsoka so much is the way she uses her lightsabers, different than everybody else. She holds one forward, she holds one in reverse.
And her whole combat style, right? Her whole fighting style is a lot more fluid, and in this, it does look kind of choppy.
And it just, especially in this episode just made her look really, really bad. And I was like, dude, I don't like it when you make my character look bad. That's why it makes me hate the episode. Like, just because she's doper than that. Like I said, there's so many different ways they could have did that scene to make it like a force blast or anything, push her over the edge. You didn't, him slashing at her and she like, dude, that's, I don't know, it just didn't fit Ahsoka for me. It's like, dude, if that was like real Ahsoka in a cartoon, she'd have done a double, triple front flip over the dude, fucking 10, 4 more motherfuckers and shit, and whoop some more ass, and then fucking, you know what I'm saying, got pushed over the edge, or, you know what I'm saying, like, he could have used the force to crack the fucking rock, and then she fell off that way. I mean, just, there could have been just so many ways they could have done it. It just made her look like just weak, or not even weak. Just made her just not look like, it just didn't feel like Ahsoka to me. It just felt, I don't know. It just made me not like it as much as I did the last episode. I like, because when she's very serious in Rebels. And in Clone Wars, she's a kid. And I like the progression of her character. Like, she thinks about things.
Right, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Her wisdom
but
is
her
so much better.
seriousness doesn't come across the same way in this as it did in Rebels.
It does. It feels the same to me. Like, she feels really, like,
for me,
really,
she feels different in this to me. It's a little bit in Rebels, like, she was more serious, but she's still like, I don't know, she still like made you pay attention. In this one, she just feels a little bit more dry to me. But
I don't know. I don't feel that. I feel she's about the same.
Gotcha.
All right, guys, we've been on here we were supposed to be a short episode.
True.
It's almost been 2 hours.
Pushing through that sickness.
I just, I'm going to do the show. I love talking about Star Wars, so this is easy.
Next episode will be on Sunday.
Yes.
We will not be doing Saturday. Sunday.
We'll not be doing Saturday because I have to work Saturday.
Right. Sunday, can we push it to like 10:30 though?
Your
like
time?
An hour later. Yeah. Because we usually do it 9:30. So let's do 10:30. Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do that. That'll be 1:30 Pacific, right?
What?
Yeah.
Maybe 10:30.
No, I mean
1:30 Eastern.
1:30 Eastern. That's 12:30 my time. Okay.
Right.
Now we can do that. Because I have to work Saturday, which sucks. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I hope that y'all are enjoying Ahsoka, because I am. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it could be better, but it's definitely Star Wars, and that's something that we've been missing for a while. It's we haven't got no real Star Wars, and this is definitely Star Wars. So, you guys have fun, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you Saturday.
Sunday.
Peace. Or Sunday. My fault. Sunday. I'm just so used to saying Saturday.
I know.
We'll see you Sunday. And for the rest of the week, man, may the force be with you. Peace. Stay outrageous.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by PicFilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcott, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.